Yeah, Black Friday, go check out our merch shop. We got all the dope gear and cool merch over there. So go slide in there and go pick yourself something up nice. Since we're on the subject, Obsessed Garage got a sale going on. I'll link all these in the descriptions below. Obsessed Garage, Detailed Division, Car Supplies Warehouse, the House of Rags, Detailed Image. So all got some sort of special going on right now. And if you guys are operating a business, you know we're always talking about money. This is going to save you a big chunk of money. So
go buy it all right now.
Go get it all right now. Just it's 20% off. You know, some of them have it in like doorbusters and bonus stuff, mystery shit, free shipping, whatever. I don't know, however much it is that you're spending. Do the math. Save 20, 25% of that. That's a big chunk of change. So financially for your business, it is smart to buy stuff now. I was kind of stubborn about it before. I'll just buy stuff as I need it. You realize the shit gets real expensive. So we actually decided this past, October, we said, yo, this year, let's just get everything we can before January and be good to go.
The cheapos, if you really want to be cheap, buy everything today.
Yeah, save you some money, guys. And we have discount codes also with all of our affiliates and stuff. So, but if there is discounts, sometimes they don't work with each other. But either way, go save some money. I'll put our links in the description below to where we buy our stuff, where we like to support, and where we think you'll be happy customer service wise going to get your stuff. This one was kind of Sal's idea. We have a few in the chamber, we always do, but today we sat and we said, okay, we were going to go a different direction, and then we kind of fell into another. We started pondering and we went into a whole nother direction. There's a few things that we're seeing out there across markets in industries, and I think this one can help a lot of people right here. A lot of people really get out of their little box that they're in. So I'll let you take this one away, brother.
All right. So what we see a lot, we've seen videos on YouTube. We see it a lot in our consulting. Questions get brought up in our trainings. And so I think it's going to make for a good conversation. Are new detailers ruining the game? And since we're on the topic, I want to say not just new detailer, new up-and-comers in any field. That tends to be
a concern.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't, on this subject, I don't think there's anything wrong with having concern. Business it's competitive. I look at it as a competitive sport. Like if you're not at the top, you're falling off fast. For instance, if there's a running back in the league that's doing their thing and they're really, really good, they come out their rookie year real hot, you might want to step your game up, some of you veterans, some of you people that are maybe, a few years in, got to get a little comfortable. In business, you can't really sit back and get comfortable. You sit back and get comfortable, what's going to happen?
You get left behind.
Exactly. So I think that's one of the reasons a lot of this comes into play when it comes to concerning, because there should be a little, you should feel a little someone breathing down your back if you're not on top of your game or if you're not innovating and you're not pushing yourself. But also, you got the new jacks coming in with the technology, coming in hard with technology.
Okay. For the new cats, or since we're talking about, when do you not say you're new? Let's narrow that down.
Okay, yeah. Just so we have
a reference point.
I would say when you're confident with your business, knowing you don't got to worry about getting paid anymore. There's always going to be a sense of uncertainty. Yeah. There's always going to be a sense of uncertainty. But say you have a track record of, I would say it's the defining moment usually is when you sit back and you look at your finances for the past 12, 18, 24 months and say, you know what, I did this all on my own. And maybe even you got some employees, or you got a shop, or you got a studio, or you have people working underneath you that you're taking care of also, holding down. I think that's at a point where and then obviously everybody has their personal financial situation, but I think you can stop saying you're new when you've the training wheels are off and you've been doing it on your own for a while.
Well, in that case, a lot of people are still new 5 years in.
Yes.
Because they're still they don't have those things in order yet. So I'll say let's do time frame. Can we put
Okay, well,
time frame?
I'm thinking development of the business, and
do time
a lot of y'all still, a lot of you guys are behind, and we're just being objective. But there's also a lot of them doing, and I never want to like get away from the fact that, because we do talk about a lot of opportunities in the industry. We do want it. We have no problem giving it up to those ones that are doing good, because there's a lot out there doing good. And when we say there's a lot, I would say from our experience, about 70 to 80% is not. I would say 70 to 80% is not falling. You got to get that?
I'm gonna just silence my phone.
Oh. So I would say I would safely say about 70 to 80% is they're not where they want to be in some form. As far as
I got something to say on that too. Just
What's
like
that?
you said, 70 to 80%, and I think too a lot of people don't know that they're at that level.
Yes, yeah.
And
There's a lot of
uncertainty. They're just like, hey man, what you worried? You passed that, my brother.
Yeah.
You're in the big dog territory now.
Yeah, it's a recognition thing, because luckily there's two of us, so we're able to objectify what's happening in the development of details. So if one of us doesn't feel like we're at a certain point yet, one of us may be like, hey brother, we're past that. Like, we're here now. Like, this is where we're at. Like, these are the accomplishments that we've made or that we've hit, or goals that we've exceeded in the past 6 months. So it kind of puts things into perspective for you. So yeah, there could be times where you think you're at a certain point and you're not. And that's why it's important to have that support and the honesty of your colleagues around you and your friends, the people that you call your family when it comes to business. And I think everybody needs to have a family when it comes to business. Coming back to SEMA, we have people we consult with. We have people that do evals on us. Those are people a part of our team and a part of our growth. So the things that we teach are not just things coming from us in our industry. It's industries that we're deeply involved with on a different level. So for us, it brings new light to everything. And it's important to have that around you, because those are going to be the ones that let you know where you stand. It may be your wife saying, babe, why are you still working the other job? This one here is making the money. You need to quit with that. If you got a family of people telling you, you should kind of have an idea where you stand. You should. Yeah.
Don't know if it's happening, but you should.
Yeah. And if you have people, and that business family will also just kind of tell you this here, like, okay, maybe, and it could be anybody in your family. It could be a family member. It could be someone younger that's saying, hey, you should probably step up your social media game. Something that small can have a huge impact on your business, and people don't realize that.
It could be the opposite. You need to chill with that social media now,
because we got some guys on social media where social media is not doing anything good for their business.
Yeah, so why do it?
Come on, buddy. Yeah,
so why do it? All right, man. So let's go back to time frame.
Okay.
When do businesses typically fail? What's the year? Like, is it 2 years? I would say 3 years or under.
I would say 2 years.
2 years.
If you got it by 2 years, that's kind of like a rule of thumb in most industries. Is if you could get it if you're stable financially after 2 years and you're still doing it, you know what I mean? Like at that point, yes. So we'll just go for conversation's sake. Let's go 2 years. Okay. So you're in the game 2 years. Now what? What's happening?
So it gets brought up, man. The new guys are doing this, and it's ultimately they're saying it's affecting them in some way. I think if you're worried about the new cats, then they're right. They're right, like you said, they're right behind you. So what are you doing to get ahead? You've been doing it 3-4 years. You got a 4-year head start, and you know what I mean? To tell me that these new guys are bringing down your back, to me, like that's something you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Because are you worried about the cats that's been doing it for 2 years?
I'm not worried about nobody. I'm not worried about the ones that have been doing it for 20. Like, I'm not. Like, just, and I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. It's just saying,
right.
My focus is not there. Like,
Yes.
it's so irrelevant to me unless we're consulting with them. It's so irrelevant to me. I don't care. I'm not looking at any of that as competition. And I think that's where a lot of guys, it hurts them more. Like, if you're already concerned about these new guys coming in, you know, guys or gals coming in, doing their thing, you're obviously seeing it as some sort of a threat. And if you're that close to somebody new to feel a threat, like in arm's reach to where you're like, oh, this guy's gonna come in and take my...
Yeah.
You, like you just said, you didn't do something right with that time that you had. From the beginning of detailing, there was people that I really looked up to on YouTube, on Instagram, in the industry. And a lot of these guys I still associate with, I still follow. But I'll show Sal some of the stuff where I'm like, look, this is somebody that I wanted to be at that level before. Like, I remember distinctively saying, when I get to this level, that's when I know that I've made it or I've done it. Whether that be working on a certain type of vehicle, working for a certain type of clientele, having a certain type of setup, having a certain type of studio, having a certain type of anything. So now when I go back and I show Sal's like, that? Because to him, he's like, you were past that a long time ago. But for me, I still am trying to hit, I was chasing that to try to aspire to. And I wasn't trying to get, I wasn't trying to get to the level of like one of the local guys around me that kind of looked like I was looking at the dudes that were really doing it. I said, this is where I want to be. I'm not trying to mess around with any of this other stuff. This is where I want to be. That kind of goal setting made me kind of want to accelerate so much faster to get there. If my goal would have been a lot shorter, I probably would have hit the goal and I could just be in that same place and be happy. We were on the Detail Wise, their quarterly call with Jason from Car Supplies Warehouse. He was asking about, okay, for you guys, how does Detail set up their goals? And we set up our goals based off of metrics, based off of opportunity, and also we try to set up our goals off of data that we've captured from the previous year. That way we go against our comp numbers. So we're actually seeing the comparison between the two and the movement of the needle and the effect on time, income, labor, any of the analytics that come into business. We set our goals very strategically and very analytically. But you could set your goals however you want to be. But what I'm trying to say is, if you set a goal that's maybe only 1 year of progression, and that's your goal that you set, and you're not setting more goals, yeah, those doesn't matter if you detail 20 years, 10 years, those cats that just jumped into the game, it's like learning how to read at a 5th grade level. You're going to keep getting older, but if you're not reading more and you're not learning, do you think that reading level is going to get any better? Probably not. Or it will, but at a very slow progression, opposed to somebody who's reading every night. Right. That's what I'm saying. And it's basic. That's like, I don't even know. That just...
Well, Kobe had that mindset. If I practice 1,000 more shots every day, blah, blah,
Elon the same way. If I work this amount of time, it cuts down. And those are basic things that you guys could do. Are most people willing to do it? Hell no. Like, most people are not willing to put forth the effort and the sacrifice to get there. And that's why they stay where they are. And that's why when people come in, they it's kind of like a look at them too. Because what if a new cat comes in that does everything nice? Where you're just like, okay, this dude just skipped 5 levels. He just got into the game and he skipped 5 levels. I feel like that's what happened when we came in, when Details came in. I was like, nope, I'm going here. I'm not fucking around here. I'm not fucking around here. I'm going straight from here to here. I got the customer service. I got the branding. I got the presentation. I got the clientele. I know exactly where I want to be. I have goals set. My Instagram looks decent. So there could have been cats that were 30 years before me, 20 years before me, but if they don't have all those things still in order, guess what? I've surpassed some of you already. And I'm just making an example of details of the mindset I had coming in. And I think anybody could do that. And those are things that we teach on the channel. So if you guys haven't been watching, I suggest you go back to day one and start taking notes, because there's so many people reach out to us on the daily saying, you guys change. You can just read the comments. You guys have changed the way that I operate my business, the way I look at my business, the way my business is going, all of that stuff. So if you don't want to worry about these new cats coming in and taking their market share, which you shouldn't even be in anywhere.
If you got to worry about the new cats, maybe you got to change your own. Maybe you need to put that new cat back on. Put that in perspective. Like if you're worried about the new guys, chances are you're still a new guy. Just look at it like that.
Yep. Okay, what do I got to do?
Yeah, to get out of this new guy category.
Yeah.
You need to be worried about the cats that are ahead of you.
Yes.
What are they doing?
Yes. My man just hit it. Yes. That's what you need to be worried about, if worried about anything. And it's not even worry. It's more of like,
what are they doing?
Pay attention. Yeah. Pay attention. Take notes. Ask for advice. People are so scared to ask for advice. Like, to me, that's wild, bro.
The ego.
Yeah.
It's the ego too.
It's so wild.
That and people are intimidated.
Yeah.
To ask for advice.
Yeah.
But also I want to get into what are the things that we hear, like specifically? A lot of times we hear about pricing. So-and-so's pricing. And it integrates into pricing and customer service because they're offering this amount of price and they don't follow through with the service. So that's the big excuse that the guys use. A customer complained that they paid for such and such service for this price and it didn't happen. The service wasn't good. And so now that's their problem.
So it's the new person. So it's the old. So the veteran detailer is saying, "Oh, these new cats are coming in. They're not doing shit right, and it's making me look bad."
Yes, it's making them look bad. But the question comes up all the time is, let's say they pay $200 for a service, $300, whatever, $100 for a service. They didn't like the service, so now they go look for that service somebody else. The old school detailer tells them whatever price, $100, and the guy's, well, the last guy did it for $100 and he did shit work. I'm not going to pay you that much. They're using that like, okay, I guess they don't know how to counter that.
Oh, because the new guy is it's just. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing that I said. Like, their bad work is affecting the rest of the industry.
Yes.
This is kind of a complicated one because people are going to get real crazy on this right now. But again, it's one of those self-accountability things. It's you have the capability and the control to change anything if you can do it right. That could be an opportunity for you. You could step in and you could actually start marketing yourself as like the recovery dude. Like, yo, bad detailer work, we'll come fix it. That you could.
Your game better be tight.
Yeah, you better be nice with it. You could come in like that, be the problem solver, be the fixer.
Ooh, your game better be.
Yeah,
your game better be.
So for
top notch.
Yeah. What I'm saying is there's opportunity there. People call us for stuff like that. Somebody called us, had their car detailed twice, still has the odors in it, this and that. We go over there, they see us and they call us and they say, hey man, I see you guys, I see what you're doing. You guys seem like you know what's happening. So we go over there, boom, take care of it, whatever. He's still having some issues with this.
Hey, but shout out for YouTube because that one came off of YouTube.
Yeah, they did come off of YouTube.
Yes, sir.
It's like client number 2 from YouTube. But yeah, this can actually, be a good opportunity for those who are saying, oh, these guys are messing up the game because this and that, whatever. But I think you just gotta you got to execute when you're there, because when it comes down to it, ultimately, you can, if you're good enough. And here's a part that people don't, because they always want to play the victim. Oh, well, this is messing up. If you're good enough, you separate yourself from all of that shit. All of it. It doesn't matter. There's in my opinion, there's certain detailers that people just don't care about the price. They don't care about the inconvenience. If there's any inconvenience, they don't care about it. And usually there is no inconvenience. That's why these people are priced the way that they are. They don't care about the location.
Hey.
There's people that will send their car across the country.
Hey, so I'm glad you brought that up. If someone is complaining, your client is complaining about the pricing, you are on the same page with that person doing that type of work. Mm-hmm. So, like, wake up call.
Reflection.
It's just
you're a reflection. We've said that a million times, and it's because it's a fact. Your clientele is a reflection of you and your business.
That just tells me that you're right there where you're complaining about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have to. It's a discipline factor. You have to change yourself before your business is going to change. If you're not an organized person, what do you think your business is looking like? It's probably very unorganized. Do you think somebody who's very organized wants to work with somebody very unorganized? We're trying to make this as simple as possible for you guys. The answer is no. The answer is no, if you haven't figured that out. It's no. I don't want to work with anybody who's any less unorganized than me. And in order for you to be able to get that type of clientele, you have to understand their needs and what they want. If you don't understand what they want and what they need, you can't relate to them, they're not going to do business with you. Period. Like, I don't care how much shit costs for most of the time, because I know usually if it costs more, and I'm not saying all the time, I'm saying usually it's better quality.
It's a baseline that you should be going.
I don't got to deal with no riffraff. You know, there's things come with a higher price tag. And that higher price tag usually is better quality service as well.
Again, are there exceptions?
Yes. There always are.
In most cases.
Yes, but there's certain things where you just don't go cheap on, because you know what comes with cheap.
Cheap airline. You know exactly what you're getting.
What do you get? Cheap shoes.
You know exactly
what you get with cheap shoes. Yeah, even the cheap Q-tips. You ever use a cheap Q-tips?
Cheap toothpick.
Yeah.
Especially the plastic joints, the floss and toothpick. You get a cheap one of those, you might as well just
cheap food. Cheap anything. There's a huge drop in something, guys, that causes that big price differential. So, but if you're going to market yourself and you want to be that cleanup man or something, you got to come correct. But don't cry and say, oh, these guys are taking they're tarnishing the name of all the detailers around me. Does it make an impact? Yeah. Is it a positive impact? No. But that happens in all industries. Do you think Snap-on is over here like, man, Harbor Freight doing it again? Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight got that new one.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna go out of business now. Oh, no, it doesn't work. It's not. It's not like that, guys. But Harbor Freight may be a threat to somebody else who's, maybe a step up. Like, I don't know tools enough to.
They're gonna let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know what's just above Harbor Freight. So those guys may be sweating when Harbor Freight comes out with something, but it's it lets you see where you are. Like Sal already said it. If you're worried about the new cats, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing, because that means you messed up on your head start. That means you messed up. You were slacking on the head start.
It was you wasted your head start.
Yeah. It's that's a good indicator of your progression. If you don't know where you stand, Watch some of these new cats and see where they're at, and that'll show you where you're at and where you need to be.
Yeah. That's why.
That's a good baseline. That's a good medium.
Well, that's why we changed the
Like a
training to
control.
more 101 because the based on the questions that you ask. Okay.
Yeah.
Now where we know where we gotta cater this to.
Yes. Yeah, it was difficult trying to do that in a class.
Yes.
Like as
everyone's business is different.
as blanket statements, because yes, the blanket statements are true and affect everybody, but everybody's business needs different adjustments, and everybody's level is different. Everybody's need is different, and where everybody wants to scale is different. So, some people could be at a starting point of from 1 to 10 out of 2. Some people's starting point could be at a 6 already. So it's for us in year 5, we had already worked on the some of the rarest cars in the world, the most expensive cars in the world, some of the biggest collections in the world. So when it came to working on cars, we had already hit the pinnacle of what we wanted to do, the way we wanted to do it.
You know what's a fun indicator we never talked about, but it's going to be like, oh yeah, I know. It's when we have a client and they do something specific. They have a certain builder, they drive a certain car, and then you meet someone else across the world, across the United States or whatever, and somehow those clients are connected.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, oh, you did we did.
That's always fun.
Yeah,
that's always really fun.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
I just thought of that right now. You said that.
And to get into things like that within the first 5 years of detailing, just shows the amount of work that we went into this, and that getting to that place was all referral based. And our business still is referral based. So that's why I tell people that word of mouth is the absolute strongest. That type of clientele is not searching on Google for a detailer. And of course, everybody has a different business model. People just want to slam out ceramic coatings, PPF, tint, whatever, all day long doing that, getting money. That's a different way. But for us, we were a little bit older. We kind of knew the direction we wanted to go in. It was going to be more tailor-made suits than off the rack stuff. Like we were going to work on one at a time, this and that, and keep it very small. And that was a route that we took. But there's more than one way to skin a cat and to be successful. So everybody's starting point is different. But if you're wondering where you're at, just look at these new guys and look at somebody that's been in, there's so much on YouTube and Instagram of guys that have been doing this for a very long time and guys that haven't been doing it for a long time. And you kind of get an idea of where you should stand. Like, okay, this guy's been doing it here. I need to step my game up a little bit more. Or you'd be like, okay, I'm way ahead of the game. And I think everybody needs a reference point to kind of see where you're at. For a long time, I ran without a reference point because there became a time where I'm like, nobody's really going in the direction that I want to go in, that I really like the way that they're doing it. And then once I got there, then I started meeting guys in person, and some of these guys in person, they don't even have social media. They're like that. They're to that point where they don't even have social media. They're like, no, my clients are, because part of what comes with our job and the level of work that we do and our clientele, it's not even the level of work, it's a level of clientele. Discretion comes along with that. So when you work with that type of clientele, you have to be at a certain point in your life for them to trust you with certain things. So the new guys can give you an indicator of where you need to be. And I think that's where a lot of these guys get frightened because they're like, oh, they're close to me.
Yes.
They're my price point, or that's my target clients. That's my market. We don't see any of that. None of it, right? You don't even know our clients. You'll probably never know our clients. You'll probably never know that they have a collection back there on that property. It's to that point. But people only see this small little area of detailing. It may be, whatever theirs is. It's like, nah, man, there's a lot more that you could be doing in this game if you apply yourself and you figure out how to get out of that that little area that you're comfortable in, because that's all it is. You fall into a comfort zone. You're like, okay, I'm making a little bit of money. I'm feeling good right here. I'm totally fine right here. And you can be, but then you find somebody else a threat because you're here, but progression and evolution is going to catch up with you eventually.
Yeah, I guess when your constant worry is about pricing, then your head start is gone.
Yeah.
Period.
And even myself, I started at a low price point early, but immediately, based off of what I didn't base my prices off of anybody else's.
Right.
Because I already knew I'm going to provide a better service.
Well, and with your experience, you understood that because you were around pricing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the retail business, there's difference in clothing brands and all that. So you understand the pricing and the sales and the clearance sales, the retail business, the restaurant business.
In demand, like some people, we're at the point now where some people are using us for status. Like people want us for status because it's when they're telling who's worked on their vehicle or, I only let details work on my stuff. Their friends might be like, they're booked out too much for me or whatever, or they're too expensive. Or, it's almost like people know, it's details. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, there's people that say, fuck that, that's too much.
Yeah.
We know the guys like, so-and-so is like, yeah.
Yeah.
Some guys tell like, you ain't getting my money.
And so I'll be like, hey man, y'all do good work, but it's just out of my. It's just I can't do that, and that's totally fine. Cool. But then you have the people that, they want it a certain way, and they want it done by certain people, and you. It's really hard to get there. It's easy to get things off and going.
But also the flip side of that is the people that know the price point, they do whatever they gotta do on their end to be like, hey, my shit ain't all ragged. Yeah. This is what I did. I just need you to do this. And it's just like, okay, we can work. We can definitely work something out now.
Yeah.
So that's fun too.
Yeah. You just have so much control over your business when you just do shit right. And it's very difficult to do things right all the time because naturally we want to kind of cut corners and do things that are easier. It's a discipline that we have to do even when we're writing out notes. Like, okay, like things have to be a little bit more consistent. Things have to be more organized. Things have to be more in place. It's like a mechanic putting his tools back into the right place. Does that take a little bit more time up front? Yes, but it saves him so much time at the end instead of just throwing shit around and maybe cleaning up every day at the end or whatever the case is. Putting things where they need to be is a small discipline that makes you better because it's one of those small fundamental things that you're doing that's incorporated into the business and it builds habits, good habits. So small things like that get you ahead of the game so much faster because you don't even have to be, you could just be more organized or more experienced in certain things. And that will determine your value from the get-go. To where someone's like, okay, this guy just looks cleaner. He's exactly the same, getting the exact same results for the exact same price as this person. But he's more organized. Or he actually answers his phone. Or they actually wear uniforms. That could be the defining factor for clients. So if somebody new coming into the game is stepping on your territory and taking your market share, then just step something up on your end. Step something up on your end to make that to pull ahead. That's all you got to do is keep pulling ahead. The further you pull ahead, the easier it actually gets. But it's work to pull ahead, but the easier the work in the end becomes. We don't work a lot, but when we do work, it's always quality work with quality people. And we're getting compensated for everything that we're delivering. But all those things that we've incorporated into the business, now it's just standard. So it's like we're just doing what we do. And now there's nothing we don't do in our lives which is that we don't like, which is funny because now even the things that I do enjoy doing, we're getting paid for. You know, like the channel, going to events and seeing people and stuff, and you know, even I do the things that I want to do in life, and I dog sit with my extra time, and I would do that shit for free, but I get paid for it. So it's like everything.
Like dogs.
Yeah, everything I do in my life now, it's almost like I've created so many disciplines, and the mindset has got me to where I'm even figuring out doing the things that I love are bringing me money. That's creating your whole life and everything. And if you're stopping your business halfway, to me, that's kind of like a discredit to yourself. It's like you're gonna work all this hard, make all this sacrifice to be here. That's where you want to be. And that's cool for some people, but when you push yourself a little bit further, man, this shit gets real easy. It starts to get real easy and real fun. And that's what keeps me excited, because it's like the deeper we get into all of this stuff, the funner it becomes. And the challenges are fun, but we know we're gonna do our thing, and it's gonna be exciting. So you got to take on business the same way. Like, okay, well, what do I got to do next? All right, this is gonna be fun now. Reorganizing your shop or your rig, that should be fun. It's because now you're doing things that are.
My man Matt Mormon, his channel is Obsessed Garage. Go look at his garage now to where it was beginning. Like,
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It was fly back then.
Yeah.
Like, look at now.
Yeah, he's a great example of just he's constantly finding things, and he's just like, okay, this is better. This is better.
He already messes with the best of the best.
Yeah.
And he's gonna keep.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
He'll develop stuff, and and that's what we are attracted to, things like that. Things that are pushing the envelope, people that are pushing the envelope, people that are doing things that are innovative. To us, that's what we're looking at. We're not looking at the people that are detailers around us, because if we look there, now we're looking not in a bad way, but from perspective viewing of where our focus is, we would be looking backwards. So not saying that we're better than anybody. I'm just saying that's in our opinion, we would be looking backwards if we were worried about stuff like that. And if you're worried about somebody that just got into the game for a month and it's 5 years, you're looking backwards, and you need to be looking the complete opposite direction, like Sal said.
Only a fool trips on what's behind them.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Or that's what it should be, at least. But again, your starting point and where you're at is all up to you. What else we got for him?
Damn. We covered everything.
You think so?
No, we did. We did.
Just on the top?
Just on the top.
Okay. Well, that's cool. You go ahead. Anything else you want to add?
And this is just not in detail. This is any business. I went to go get my haircut. I went to my old school barber, and I said, "Hey, man, you could be seeing a lot of me." My other barber, for whatever reason, ain't no longer. So, I need your information. We just started chatting. He's been in business for over 30 years, being a barber. And we just started talking, and he goes, "Man," I said, "You go to any classes, and you got a lot of knowledge." He goes, "Well, I attend. They asked me to attend trainings, and I speak." He goes, "You know what's funny is, you know what the number one question is? Guess what the number one question?" He said, "Well, new barbers are asking him what his pricing is," and he goes, "They're asking the wrong questions. I've been in business 30 years. Like, no." And his pricing is probably about 30 to 45% cheaper than the new cats. Yeah. These new cats are charging anywhere $50 to $80 a haircut. My man's still coming through with the $25, $30 pricing. So he's
probably making way more money.
And so he's just like, "I'm not worried about." He goes, "You know how many barber shops open up in this town?"
Yeah.
He said, "There's one every week."
Every boy between the age of like 18 and like 22 wants to be a barber.
Yeah.
Like that. That's
understandably so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go up in the hood, cutting your friend's hair, your own hair.
Yeah.
But he goes, "That's the number one question that people have. Well, what do you charge? Like, don't worry about what I charge.
Yeah.
And when he does tell them, they're just like, how do you stay in business?
Well, they don't understand. They don't understand any of it because it takes them 3 hours to cut a hair.
My man's done fading 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. See, when that
beard and the fade.
See, that's what and he's probably not sweating off of none of his clientele either.
Oh no.
Well, you also said that he has a shop where he has a bunch of chairs.
Yeah, he has a total of 4 chairs, and it's only 2 are operating on, but the other 2 been empty since he opened.
Yeah.
And he goes, those 2 chairs right there, I ain't worried about someone paying rent. That's all just problems for me. Yeah. He's also, I'll keep him empty. It's a special waiting chair.
Yeah. Well, he said and through his experience, we see this all the time. We see it in a lot of guys will openly let you know, especially in the industry. They'll say, okay, well, my business, I scaled it up to here, I went to here, and then I just all the problems, all the issues, all the personal things, tolls that it took on me, the financial, then they just scale it all the way back down. And he was the same way. He just said, okay, well, all these new guys, they jump in and then they want to rent all the chairs because that's money.
They want to get 10
but they don't realize every single one of those people if that barber doesn't show up, that falls on the owner. If there's a customer service issue on it, that falls on somebody wants their money back, they're going to the owner. If that person's not keeping up their workspace.
They're not saying the barber's name, they're saying the shop that they went to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it can kill your business, and people don't realize how other people can be, because it's an extension of you. They're now a liability for you. So, we see it in all industries. So basically, it always just comes down to you not progressing and developing. If you're worried about anything, if you're in constant progression mode, you're constantly going forward. So, and that's the fun part, because when you see the guys that have kept going forward with you, and you all start winning. Like a lot of hip hop artists talk about this. Who was talking about Cash Money, Baby from Cash Money, and Steve-O from Jackass. They had ran into each other. They were talking on an interview, and it was funny because they had this like a different bond. Like they knew each other. Like they were really good. And I was like, this is very strange. What's happening here? And Baby goes, hey man, we was coming up at the same time. Like they were both.
They developed a relationship on the come up. That's powerful. Yeah.
So they were.
They all know the reference
grind.
points.
Yeah. And they're on a grind around the same time, kind of like you going to the gym and working out with somebody like that. That kind of like, what do they call it? The suffering.
And I'm pretty sure that industry, a lot of business things are the same people too. Like
it's all like the managers. It's all entertainment. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
So
promotion companies,
they're like, the industry.
That guy was a snake. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So they were sitting there talking, and Baby was just like, man, we was on the come up together. we were both popping off at the same time. And then you look at it, you look at it from a time point perspective. You're like, okay, yeah, that is when Jackass was jumping off. That's when their first move. Oh, that's when Lil Wayne's album came out. That's when so-and-so's. So that's fun to see in our industry. Like we're seeing it with a lot of our people that we hang out with. That's like, okay, my man's going to another level. Okay, but this is going here. And some of these guys have been around before us, and some of them have been after us. But everybody has a different timeline. That's also another factor that people don't realize too. There's things that we wanted really, really badly for details, and it didn't work out. And it just solidified for us, okay, it was all in timing, because there was things that we had to learn to get to where we want to be, and we weren't prepared. So there's a level of trust in the universe you kind of have to let go of, but at the same time, we're not looking at people that are doing different things in the industry saying, oh man, we should be there already, or we shouldn't be here, or none of that stuff, like comparison wise, because we understand everybody has a different timeline that's getting theirs. And we'll have our time, and we're cool with that, wherever that may be. So when we see somebody doing good, it's like almost celebrating. It's like, okay, we started around the same time. My man right here, and he's really doing his thing. Like, and it feels good to see people progress like that with you, because it really does feel like family and support. And that's why we're big on giving it up to people. Like, hey man, you're doing your thing. Like letting them know, because we know how hard that shit is. Like we may not be where they're at, or they may not be where we're at, but we all understand that it takes some fucking sacrifice and some hustle and some grind and some work to get where we're at. And to see everybody doing their thing, you know, like Jackass and Cash Money, like those guys, everybody knows those names. So for them to kind of be able to look at each other and be like, man, we were on the grind together. Remember we were on the grind, and now they're where they're at. That has to be cool to be at that level. Yeah. So you know, you always got to give it up for the people around you guys and make those relationships, because like attracts like. You see somebody doing good, especially in the industry, we're gonna meet you. We're gonna talk to you. We're gonna develop a relationship, because that's not only where we want to be. That's where our interest lies with that.
It's fun. Also, it's fun hearing the athletes talk about that as they make it through the professional ranks. Like, man, I played that dude at Pop Warner, and he was a beast.
Yeah, a lot of guys.
He was a middle linebacker, and I used to hate going.
Oh, we were in high school, like with Jason Williams and Randy Moss.
Yeah.
They were on the same basketball team.
Yeah, through high school.
Yeah, things like that. So it's even Cam and Mace.
Yeah,
like they played high school basketball together, and then they did their rap careers and stuff together. So you're not gonna tell me those things didn't intersect with who they are as people. Like, that's somebody he could look at and say, this man went through all the same shit I went through. Like, we could learn some shit from each other right here. And I'm sure they probably kept ties all the way through. And, you know, look what they're doing now. To me, it's really cool to be able to see people's journey and what they had to go through to get to where they're at, or to see them through the progression. Like,
look at the whole NWA. You know what I mean? Look at how they all started out.
Yeah,
and they're all at the top.
Yeah. They're that's like they created like legacy in the industry. So
Snoop owns Death Row. Shit.
Yeah, that is crazy. Talking about full circle for him. So don't let anybody new coming into any industry threaten you. Let that, if anything, let that be motivation for you to get to a different place, to where that's no longer, it's not your concern anymore. And that's where you should be, because any focus that pulls away from your business is bad focus. That's just bad.
Yeah, so don't focus. Yeah, make that be if that's one of your goals. I don't want to be with these new detailers. Then pick a detailer that you want. Be like, I want to be where they're at.
Yeah.
Yep. And you'll get there faster than worrying
about what's going on, you know, and let that be a reality check. Let it check you to see where you're at, where you stand, and where you want to be. If you're not where you want to be, it's going to be very difficult for you to admit that, for most people, to say, okay, this is not where I want to be. I need to make some changes. I need to step my game up, and I need to get off of this level with these new cats. So it's all in your control. Business is always in your control. Whether you fold, whether you go all in, whether you shut down for COVID, or you capitalize on everybody else shutting down for COVID. Mm. The most wealth is made when blood is in the streets. Mm-hmm.
All right, man. I think
so I think that's it. I think we wrapped it up.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Black Friday.
And before you guys go, just know that we'll be here to start off your week every Monday and every Friday. That's going to be our new upload schedule, because it looks like that's where you guys are watching the most.